250 St. Fabian ends his reign as Pope of the Catholic Church 236-250. In 1045 Giovanni di Sabina is elected Pope Sylvester III. In 1156 according to legend, freeholder Ladislas English Crusader Bishop Henry with an axe on the ice of Lake Köyliönjärvi in Finland. In 1265 First English Parliament is summoned without royal command, in this instance by Simon de Montfort, Earl of Leicester. It meets in Westminster Hall. In 1320 Duke W. Wladyslaw Lokietek becomes King of Poland. In 1356 Edward Balliol abdicates as King of Scots. In 1502 the present-day location of Rio de Janeiro is first explored. In 1503 Casa de Contratación, an house of trade established by the Crown of Castile in the port of Seville to deal with American affairs. In 1513 Christian Roman II succeeds Johan I as Danish and Norwegian king. In 1523 Christian Roman II is forced to abdicate as King of Denmark and Norway. In 1576 the Mexican city of León is founded by order of Viceroy Don Martin N. Quaestor Almanzar. In 1613 Peace of Knarod ends War of Kalmar between Denmark and Sweden. In 1635 Convention of Goa signed between Portugal and England, ending their ongoing conflict in Asia and opening Portuguese ports, including China, to English trade. In 1648 cornerstone of Amsterdam Town Hall is laid. In 1667 Treaty of Andrussovo ends 13-year war between Poland and Russia. 1778 First American military court-martial trial begins in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In 1781 first edition of Pater Tihone's Patriot magazine De Post band in Nether Rhine, The Post of the Nether Rhine is published. In 1785 Samuel Ellis advertises to sell Oyster Island, Ellis Island, no takers. In 1788 Pioneer African Baptist Church organizes in Savannah, Georgia. Chief Justice Marshal 1801 John Marshall is appointed Chief Justice of the United States. In 1809 First U.S. Geology book published by William Maclure. In 1839 Battle of Yungay, Chile defeats a Peruvian and Bolivian alliance. In 1840 Dumont d'Urville discovers Adélie Land in Antarctica. In 1840 Dutch King William Roman II is crowned. In 1841 China cedes Hong Kong Island to Britain during the First Opium War. First Northwest Passage 1850 HMS Investigator headed by Robert McClure leaves England. First expedition to make a Northwest Passage, although some of the journey was over ice. In 1860 Dutch troops conquer Waterpoon and Celebes. In 1866 Prim S insurrection in Spain ends. In 1868 Florida Constitutional Convention meets in Tallahassee. 1870 City of Boston vanishes at sea with all 177 aboard. Revels Elected Senator 1870 Hiram R. Revels elected to fill unexpired term of Albert Brown as U.S. Senator from Mississippi. In 1872 California Stock Exchange Board organized. In 1879 British troops under Lord Chelmsford make camp at Isandlwana. In 1883 Billy Barnes takes a hat-trick, England v Australia at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. In 1887 U.S. Senate approves naval-based lease of Pearl Harbor. U.S. supervises Dominican debt. 1905 U.S. begins supervising the Dominican Republic's national and international debts, testing President Theodore Roosevelt's corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. In 1910 Stanley Cup, DS Arena, Ottawa, on Ottawa Senators outclass Edmonton HC 13-7 for a 2-0 sweep of Challenge Series. In 1914 the first group of Transvaal Indian women satyagrahis are released from Pietermaritzburg prison in South Africa after 3 months imprisonment. In 1920 Dutch Second Chamber passes school laws. PM Alexander Millerand 1920 Prime Minister of France Georges C.L. Menzel resigns and is replaced by Alexander Millerand. In 1920 Russian Imperial Navy Admiral Alexander Kolchak, leader of anti-communist white movement, surrenders to Bolshevik troops. In 1920, the American Civil Liberties Union is founded. In 1921, British submarine HMS K5, which was unusually equipped with steam turbines, sinks with 57 crew during exercises in the Bay of Biscay. In 1921 Dagestan Asser forms in RSFSR. In 1921 Mountain Autonomous Republic established in RSFSR. In 1921 Republic of Turkey is declared from the remnants of the Ottoman Empire. In 1922 Arthur Honegger's ballet skating rink premieres at the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées in Paris, France. In 1925 the Soviet and Japan sign a convention resuming relations. Russia agrees to limit revolutionary activity of the Third Communist International, while Japan agrees to leave the Sakhalin. 1926 Second German government of Luther begins. In 1929 first feature talking motion picture taken outdoors in Old Arizona. 1930 first radio broadcast of Lone Ranger WZ's Detroit. In 1934 Japan sends Henry Puyi as regent to Emperor of Manchuria. 1937-45 F-43C, Boker, California state record. 1937 First U.S. Presidential Inauguration Day held on Jan 20th, previously March 4th. In 1939 Charles Ives' first piano sonata Concord premieres. In 1941 Bela Bartke's Sixth String Quartet premieres in NYC. New Fourth Army reorganized. 1941 Chinese Communist leaders reorganized the New Fourth Army in defiance of nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek's order for it to be disbanded. In 1940, two Japanese invade Burma. In 1940, two Nazi officials hold the notorious Wannsee Conference in Berlin to coordinate the final solution, the extermination of Europe's Jews. In 1943 Lead, South Dakota, temperature is 52 F, while 1.5 miles away Deadwood records -16 F. Operation Weiss 1943 Operation Weiss, German, Italian, Bulgarian Croatian troops attempt to retake land liberated by Tito's partisans. In 1944 RAF dropped 2,300 ton of bombs on Berlin. Roosevelt's fourth term 1945 Franklin D. Roosevelt is sworn in for an unprecedented and never to be repeated fourth term as U.S. President. In 1945 the Hungarian Provisional Government concludes an armistice with the USSR, US, and Britain, agree to pay reparations and to